Hi guys, thank you for coming to my channel. Alice Say Please. It's your girl Lise. This channel is really just dedicated to helping people get through college, through life. You know, being a young adult is hard. Learning about things is hard because sometimes you just don't learn it in school. Your parents can't help you because they didn't know at the point in time. So that's what I'm here for. So I'm a nursing major, so this video is about the ATI test and the KNAT test. I've taken both. They're literally pretty much the same thing. I couldn't tell you a huge difference except for like probably the number of questions. Let's just go over what the TEAS test is. So the TEAS test is an entrance exam for nursing, which you probably know because that's why you're watching. I just want to talk about like there's I believe a total of I think 108 questions. I'll have to look into that for you and put it down below. So I'm going to talk about how hard it was. Did I feel prepared for the test? How long I prepared for it, and that is kind of where I'm gonna start with. So let's start out with, it wasn't absolutely hard. It's definitely a test, like if you prepare for it right, you'll know the questions. But I feel like a lot of people just jump into it and just try to take it because they need it before they can apply to a program, you know, within the next month or so. So they're not very prepared, and because I got a 86 on my test and I studied for a week, just hardcore study for a week. I know if I would have studied for a little longer, I would have did a little better, but I mean, an 86 is still pretty good. My study resource I used was the ATI TEAS Test Secrets book. I'll put a little picture up over here so you can see that. I am a broke college student, so I don't have the book. What I actually did was went to Barnes & Noble, bought the book, took it home, studied for, you know, a week and a half about right before my test, and I took it back the day before, so I didn't crease it or write it or anything to save some money, because I mean, I don't need the book after you take the test, so yeah, that's gone. You can also go to your local library, see if they have the book, because some places do. I know my library didn't have it, but they had stuff for like your RN NCLEX study guide or the PN NCLEX study guide. So I mean, they have resources, so just check out your local library and get a free library card, because I mean, honestly, if you need a quiet place to study, your public library is probably low-key the best, because not a lot of people go to libraries anymore, and your campus library is probably packed. If you do end up buying a book, you do something to it, you could just sell it on Facebook Market, or I mean, just kind of ask around at your campus for people you know are trying to be nurses if they need the book, and let them buy it from you. Anyways, back to the TEAS test. So some of the study tips I have, I'm going to go by section. There's 4 sections. There's reading, math, English, and science. So I'm going to start with reading. So my reading category, I got a 91.5%. I will tell you this, read the full passage. When you get to the passage, read the full passage. You have time to read it. I think a lot of people get hectic and just try to like read the question and the answers and then try to find it, skim, but you have time to read the whole passage, you know, get it understood. And the reason I can tell you this is because I'm dyslexic. So I suggest that you just read it all the way through. You'll have time. I did, and I probably went through each one about 3 times. While you're going through it, think of your main topics, main idea of the passage, the like voice of the author, like what is his point, what is he trying to get across, just so when you get to the questions, you'll kind of already have idea, because that's mostly what the questions are about, like the main idea, topic sentence, what do you think the author meant about this, just kind of like making inferences, all that good stuff. So when you get to the questions in the reading section, I suggest you read the question and try to come up with the answer in your head. before you read through the answers, so that you know you got it right when you find your exact answer. And if not, that's when you should go back over the text, skim where you're looking for, find exactly what it is, and then you can go from there. I mean, try not to take too long. The best part of this test is that in each section you can go back and forth through questions. So, you know, kind of get your questions done. Definitely double check your answers after you've gotten it done if you have time. And, you know, then go on to the next section. For math, I actually got 100%. There's a lot of secrets to math that people kind of look over because they're thinking like, oh my gosh, I have to get this right. There's this certain way, and it's just a lot. And sometimes math is not as complicated sometimes as people think it is. So for this is test, you're gonna be probably need to know college algebra. The book that I used is a great book, and it'll give you step by step of what you need to learn. And honestly, it teaches you more than you need to know. So when you get to the test, you're kind of like, oh, this is kind of breezy, like kind of easy. So that's that. Next, so we'll keep talking about the math. I would say know your conversions. So like know that 16 ounces is a pound, know that 8 fluid ounces is a cup, know, you know, 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon, know how many cups is in a pint and a quart, know all those kind of things. Also know like how many feet are in a yard, how many feet are in a mile. Just all those little conversions, because they won't give you a list on the test, and if you don't know it, you're gonna be guessing. And in math, guessing is probably not the best thing to do because you could be wrong. Know your equations. So some of the equations I'm talking about is like know how to get your perimeter or circumference, know how to get your area, know how to get your surface area, know how to get the volume of, you know, shapes and so a secret I try to tell people when I math tutor people is that the best situation to be in with math is multiple choice. And ding, 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 the test is multiple choice. So why I say that is that there's a lot of plugging in. So if they give you like an equation and you can't get it right, you can't get the right answer, all you really have to do is plug in the answer and do the equation backwards to get you to like realize if it's right or not. They have a calculator on there, so it can go by very quickly. Like I finished the math portion probably like 20 minutes before I was supposed to, and still got 100%, because really I was just plugging in stuff. Definitely try to know what you're doing beforehand, but if you get stuck, yeah, just plug in your answer first and go backwards, and just try each one. Like A, if it says 2, you know, plug that in, and if it doesn't actually equal what it says it should equal, then go to B and C and D until you get which one is supposed to actually be the answer. If that's a little confusing, you know, comment below and I will actually have a paper. I'll take a picture of a paper, send it to you, and show you an example, because I'm a little better with writing down equations and stuff, for example. The science portion, I got a 72.3, which I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I'm actually taking a lot of science classes. But to be fair, I haven't been in A&P for like 2 semesters. So it was kind of a rewind, you know. I was trying to recollect, and I wasn't studying as hard on that portion as I probably should have been, because I was a little more nervous about the reading and English portions, just because I told you I'm dyslexic. But I know for a fact if I would have given myself an extra week to be able to study for this test, my science would have definitely been higher, because I kind of realized a lot of the answers after I finished the test. You know how that goes. Life of a horrible test taker, me. So let's talk about the science. Pretty much make sure you take your A&P class before you take this test. It would be really smart to take it like as soon as that semester's over, you finishing A&P 1 and 2. just because it's really over exactly your A&P class. So if you have it fresh in your mind, you'll probably get a better score. Learn each system. So each system, like your cardiovascular system, your endocrine system, your lymphatic system, learn all your systems. There's a lot more, like your nervous system, all that stuff. But I would learn all your systems, learn the major organs and functions of those systems, how they work. And I know it sounds like a lot, but they all go into each other and eventually it just kind of flows. But if you took A&P, you'll already have a gist of what you're talking about because you'll have a whole semester be studying this stuff, which is great. If you're not doing great in science, because science is kind of the one people do the worst on, I would say, give yourself time to actually study science because it's definitely one of the hardest sections, at least for me. A big portion of the test, well, I can't say like what was on the test and what wasn't because it's against the rules. But I will say that I feel like your cardiovascular system and your respiratory system are two of the ones you should absolutely know. I really don't remember a lot of the questions from the science section, so I can't even tell you a question if I knew, but I do know like those are two of the major ones, and I'm only saying that as well because I was already in nursing school once and I know that it's a big deal, so I'm sure for the entrance exam they're going to make it a big deal still. I would say in the science section it's definitely important to learn more, so I would overlearn stuff. Learn as much as you can in that science section because at least when you get to the test you'll know way more than you need to know. And honestly, it'll help you when you get to nursing school. So that's great. Last, we're going to talk about the English section. Sorry, I love hoop earrings. Gold hoop earrings. Okay, excuse me. Anyways, English. I got a 79.2 on the English portion. It actually really was one of the easier ones for me, but I was kind of rushing because I had to pee really bad. And you can't get up during the test, so I was kind of rushing through that portion. It was only like 28 questions too, so I probably could have gotten a little higher in that section as well. But I would say learn how to use context clues because they use a lot of words, you don't know what they mean. But if you know how to use context clues to find what the word means, you'll be good. Also, learn punctuations. That's a big thing for me because I do read weird because of my dyslexia. I noticed like my use of commas are probably not correct. My use of certain punctuation is not correct, but definitely learn that because that's pretty much English. They want you to know when to use a comma, when not to use a comma, when to use a period, when to cut off a sentence, when a sentence is too long, when a sentence is too short. It needs to have a noun and a subject and a verb and all this fun stuff. So just kind of go through that. And I'm telling you, this book is amazing. It literally breaks everything down for you. It's literally amazing. Definitely give yourself enough time to study. So I would say about 2 weeks because if you overstudy, your brain will be shot and you just don't want to do that. Like I said, this test is very similar to the KNAT, so you definitely can use this book for the KNAT to study for it. It's honestly an amazing book. It helps with a lot. Honestly, I say honestly a lot because I'm trying to like get through to you guys. This book got you. But anyways, just relax, take the test, take your time. Don't skip over things because you feel like you're losing time. Like I said, you can go back and forth. So if you feel like you're really stuck on this question, you're not very sure, there's a flag button on the test. You can flag it so you can come back to it because you don't want to waste your time overthinking about something that you might, once you get some fresh eyes after going through some other questions and coming back, you might realize the answer and be like, dang, I wasted all this time on it. Just take your test. You got this. I mean, if you prepared, you're good. but make sure you've taken your classes before. Don't try to prematurely take the TEAS test or the KNAT. I've seen people do that and get horrible scores because they were just kind of in a rush. But take your college algebra class, take your A&P class, take your English 1 and 2 comp classes. Get it done. You got this. So that's all I have for you today. I'm just glad you guys are watching. Always like, subscribe if you liked it. If you have anything else you want me to help you talk about, because like I've said, I've been through some of nursing school and had a situation where I had to leave, and now I'm trying to go back to a school closer to home. So, you know, comment, like, subscribe. I'll put my email down there so you guys can email me with questions, because I love helping with classwork and all that good stuff to the best of my ability. And that is all I have for you today. Thanks, guys.